Hi, this is Real World Audio, and I'm showing you my tweaks on the Rega turntable. I think a lot of you were asking for this video, these tweaks. So here they go. So first of all, oh, the cats are playing. What's going on there? What's going on there? Okay, that was it. So basically, what I did for the platter. Many things. First of all, before I start to say anything, I need to tell you guys that what I am showing, this is not the only thing that I did to my Rega during the course of 20 plus years since I have this table. I literally done like hundreds of mods to it. What you see now are the final ones which stayed. So when you start asking, commenting that I could do this and that, yes, of course, I could do many things, and most likely, in all likelihood, I have already tried those tweaks. Nevertheless, please do post those ideas that you have and you want to comment, because the other viewers who are watching this video will be very interested to learn more about tweaks, about things to try, because first and foremost, a lot of those things that you do for your turntable modifications, they are all about equipment synergy. So a lot of things are just making the mechanical properties better, but they also I would say improve isolation of motor noise from reaching to the platter and other properties like that, or making the motor have like better efficiency at transferring strength to the platter. Those things are quite straightforward, but a lot of those things, like what kind of mat do you use for your platter, is really something that also has a lot to do with system synergy. And of course, I already told about my tone arm mod. So this is the wooden DIY tone arm I built 20 years ago, and I still use it, and it's just perfect. And before you ask like how this table sounds, I can say that even with this incarnation, even with this basic Benz cartridge on it, if something would have happened and I had to give up my big turntable downstairs, I would be completely happy with this modified Rega. I've been like super happy with it for 2 decades, and this has been my only turntable for about 15 years, and I started it when I was at the very beginning of my audio journey. I bought this table on eBay, used, and it's not even the P3 but the planar 3, so which was before the current production P3s. It's such old model, and since then I have kept it and modified it, worked on it, and I do have the same suggestion for everyone. If you can pick up a used P3, just get it, and when you modify it, you can pretty much mod it to be your last table, and it can play music like the big boys do. You can bring it up to the big boy league, which is like the 10k plus turntable league, and I'm going to show you those mods that will allow that. So mod 0 is the isolation stand, and I've already talked about this as well, but now I'm going to mention again. Basically, you need a wooden box, a wooden frame, fill it up with sand, and put a block of wood on the inside to cover it up, or maybe if it's 2 pieces of wood like here, that's completely fine, and then your table is sitting on that. So I'm going to show you the legs. I still have the original Rega legs there. I know I could try different things when I had used it as my primary table. I was using some additional tweaks on it, but right now this is what I'm doing, and it's plenty of good. And then, so that thing, adding that airtable, that brings it up to a completely different league. And then the second thing, for the mats, I tried like a billion different kinds of mats for it, and the one that worked the best is the Cork Mat. However, as you see, the cork is not on the top, but I glued it at the bottom, so it's on the bottom of the platter. So this is a glass platter, and the cork is on the bottom. And let's just put the platter away for a second. Okay, so under the platter I also have an extra piece of cork, and this is there to lift it a little higher, because by default on the standard model the spindle is a little bit too high, or sometimes sitting too high when you just have it normally, and it would touch occasionally the bottom of the platter, and that's where you are getting your noise coming from the motor to the platter. So when you hear that click 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 sound coming very softly, very quietly, that's because it's touching here. So if you just make it a little taller, then that is going to go away. However, now that it's there, and also I added the cork to the bottom, now the center does not touch here, the center, so I added a rubber grommet of the same diameter there, so that I can use this to center the platter, because otherwise it's riding, you see, too high. So there it would not sit there anymore. So that's why you need this. And then the next thing was that I removed the attachment of the motor from the plinth. So in the original version, how it is in standard, maybe the new model is different, but the motor is suspended to the plinth on the other side. I cannot flip it over, because I have the wooden arm there, and it just would fall apart if I would do that. And there's a belt that holds it up there, and that belt can get older, can get worn out, or maybe whatever happens to it, and then it could like clink clink clink, like touch that side of the platter, could of the plinth, the back side of the plinth, like right there. That distance can just go down, or maybe it could like touch this side or the platter. So this is what is making the noise when your spindle is getting out off center, because your belt is getting worn down. So what I did is I got rid of that belt completely. On the bottom side, right there, what you are seeing there, that's where the motor is sitting. So normally there's a plastic piece there that's covering the base of the table. It's securing the not securing, just making sure that you are not introducing any dirt or dust to the motor. So I just got rid of that completely, and inside there is like a very simple basic electronics, so that when the AC voltage is coming in, there's a resistor to cut the 120 volts down a little bit. I added a bigger resistor. I forget what value was it, maybe I don't know, I don't want to tell a value because it might be something wrong, but it was a 5-watt resistor to drop the AC voltage down significantly from the 110, 120 volts to about 75 volts or so, because the weaker the voltage is, when the spindle turns, like each of the tuck 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 tuck, so with each of the turn, it's not getting like a strong torque, but it's a weaker torque, so it's not yanking the platter around. That makes a nice improvement on the sound. And as you see now, instead of that suspension for the motor, with the bottom cover removed, right there, that blackness that you can see, that's a sorbotane foot. That's an equipment foot that I put under the motor, so physically that is supporting the motor. And that bluish thing, that's an elastic plastic band that is wrapped around the motor to dampen the resonances, to keep it quieter. And basically the motor is just sitting on that elevator. The purpose of that is just to elevate it and also to dampen the resonances. You can go really creative and you can put really anything there, as long as you got the spindle coming up at the right height to drive your platter. And I also added here an RCA, not RCA, an IEC jack, so that I can plug in a power cord there, because I used to have the power cord hardwired to the table, but over the years that turned out to be a nuisance to use, and it's much easier when I want to do something, just disconnect it there and just do whatever you want with the table. So right now I'm just trying to put this arm in a more secure position. I'm trying to lift the table a little bit. It's going to be tricky, so that you can see the motor. You see, there is the motor sitting there on the sorbotane foot, and you see there's some wires. Those are the wires connecting to the motor, and there's the IAC jack. I added a block of wood there to support it. So this is how my Rega looks like. These are the tricks that I did to the motor and to the thing, basically. And yeah, I think it sounds about as good as like a middle class or medium VPIs, that sort of ballpark. So if you don't have the money to buy something like a TNT Junior, then you can just spruce up an old Rega P3 with these mods, and you can enjoy a sound which you would find totally okay and acceptable if you would have to get rid of your VPI TNT table. So that's it for now. I hope this will be useful for many of you, and I hope the sound was okay. And let me just have a feedback from you. Now, can you hear when I speak now? And I repeat it again. And how about now? Can you hear me the same way? So that was number 1. And number 2, if when I ask the second time, just let me know if there was a difference between that, because when I'm making these videos, I'm holding the camera in my hand, and when I shift positions, I might be covering where the microphone is, and I just need feedback from you. If when you hear my videos, when I shoot them here, do they have consistently bad sound that you cannot hear, the volume is not enough, or is it just occasional? So right now, is my sound clear? And how about now? Is it now clear? This is the case number 2 again. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, and mod your Rega and have fun listening to it. Bye bye.